because there are so many beautiful birds out there that you can see that you might not even realise they exist. It's a beautiful way to get out into nature and enjoy the outdoors, and it's a great form of exercise. Also, it's a really family-friendly activity that you can share with others. I think everybody enjoys birding. Well, I think the most important piece of equipment you need is a good pair of shoes, because you might be on a path, but if you find a bird that you're interested in and it's sort of off the track a little, you're going to get into some rough terrain, and there's always the chance of coming across some nasties. I have found myself in ants' nests, and I have seen snakes on a regular basis when I've gone off the track, so a good pair of shoes. For families, an iPhone will be great, because some of the birds you're going to be able to get up close to. If you're at Harrington Park Lake, there's the ducks, there's the swans. A phone camera is going to be enough for those sorts of birds. Don't forget your hat and a sunscreen. Of course, if you're going to look for birds in treetops, you're going to need a camera with a little bit more zoom. So I've got a camera here as a demonstration model, the big one that I use on a tripod. But if you're looking for a bit more portable, you're going bushwalking, I've got a camera that's got a big zoom on it, but it's a much lighter weight. If you really want to have a bit of fun and creep around the bush, ninja style, I recommend camo. And I do wear this when I go birding if I'm looking for those special birds that I've got to creep up on and I want that close-up shot. That the zoom camera isn't going to just get me where I want to be. So camo's always fun. We're so lucky here in the Camden Council area because there's some really great spots. And probably my first favourite spot is the Australian Botanic Gardens at Mount Annan. There's such great places within the garden area. They actually do have a bird hide at the first big lake that you notice when you drive in. There's a little track off to the side that you can walk down and find the bird hide. And that's a little building with slots in it that you can peer through, you can take photos from without the birds seeing you. And you're seeing a lot of aquatic birds there, but there's also birding from the bird hide that you can see into the trees as well. That's a nice place to be. And the Connections Garden is a beautiful terraced garden which is really easily accessible for everybody. There's really good paths, there's pathways and stairways, wheelchair accessible, and up there you'll see birds like the satin bowerbird or the eastern spinebill, and you'll probably hear the whipbirds. So that's a really great spot for beginner birders. And also at the gardens, down the back at the Banksia Dam, which is a little pond there, you get some really special birds down there, and that's a little bit more off track. There's some just dirt paths, which is an exciting place to be in. You'll see a lot of wildlife down there, perhaps some echidnas, perhaps some lace monitors, but the bird life is really special down there. Harrington Park Lake is a really nice spot to take the family for birding because you've got the big lake with a concrete path all the way around it. Water birds there. If the kids want to take some frozen peas, they can go and feed the birds, and the birds are used to that, so they'll come over readily. You get your black swans and your different types of ducks there. Please be careful not to feed them bread because the bread does make our bird life very sick. The Camden Bike Track's a really great place to visit because you can see tawny frogmouths, and around near the bridge you can see some rainbow bee-eaters at the moment and some sacred kingfishers, which are always exciting to see. And there's also some pockets of bushland off the lake, and in the bushland you're going to see things like your superb fairy wrens and your eastern yellow robins, and it's nice to get in among the trees and you often see some different surprises there. Well, at the moment there's some really exciting birds around, and probably my most favourite is the channelbill cuckoo. You're going to hear that before you see it. They're so loud as they fly about. They're flying everywhere, but when you see them, they are huge. The bills on them are massive. I think they're one of the biggest flight birds that you're going to see around here. They're cuckoos, they're laying eggs in other birds' nests for those birds to raise their young, which isn't very nice, but it's really interesting to see. And also the rainbow bee-eaters are visible from the Camden bike track at the moment, from the bridge down there. And they kind of look like a small kingfisher, but the colours are really vibrant and they're attracting people from all over the place because people just love seeing them and get very excited about them. But another bird that's very interesting to our area is at Mount Annan Botanic Gardens, and that's the swift parrots. Now, I haven't seen them this year. They didn't turn up as expected. Maybe that was due to the bushfires that we've been suffering in recent times. But they come up from Tasmania, and the last couple of years they've been at the gardens down by the Bakersia Dam. The first time I saw them, there was a flock of about 5. Last year, there was a flock in the hundreds, and people were travelling from interstate to come and see our swift parrots. So that was a really exciting time. But the sacred kingfishers are out and about now. They're like a little mini kookaburra in a really vibrant blue colour. Well, I know where I live in my local area, you're going to see magpies, Australian butcherbird, rainbow lorikeets, and here by the library there's a big mixed flock of little corellas and long-billed corellas. I've had them in my garden. Also your sulphur-crested cockatoos and your galahs. They're probably your common birds, but if you have a really good look, you'll see some different birds that you weren't expecting.